Hi there. It's been 6 years since the last update, and it's Christmas Day, and it's a Corona Christmas because I'm stuck here in Barcelona, can't go to visit the family, so I've got some time to record this. Okay, so it's 2020, so it's been 8.5 years since I had the operation, which was to fuse L4, L5 and S1. And since March 2013 I've been working in an office job as a translation company, so most of the day spent sat down or moving between meetings, that kind of thing. A more active job would be better, to be honest, something where I'm walking about more, doing things, but I'm good at what I do, so I kind of try and find the balance, basically. In 2014, so a year after I started, I did actually have to have a month off, and that was due to quite strong pain in a similar area, basically, same as always in the lumbar region. But after some rest and some exercises and going swimming and stuff, then I went back to work and was working mostly standing up. So, well, kind of interchanging between standing up and leaning on a high stool, and I was that way until about sort of May, June 2019. But in the spring of 2019, had another relapse, which was initially triggered by a new weights routine. I started the new year thinking, right, I'm going to try and sort of get a bit more in shape. And at first it seemed to be going very well, but then one Saturday I did a bit more than usual, a little bit more weight, a little bit more repetitions, and a little later that day noticed a twinge, let's call it, and that was the start of about 3 months of steady decline, which unfortunately ended up with me taking 2 months off work in May, June 2019, and also missing a trip to Japan, which I'd organised to visit my cousin. Had to cancel that, unfortunately. Spent the first week off on the floor, basically, watching TV. A lot of painkillers, but no opioids, thank goodness. And then after physiotherapy, returned to work with a new sort of desk arrangement, which basically alternating between sitting down and standing up. So I had the chair with a breathable lumbar support sort of attached to it, 2 monitors at different heights, and a stand for the keyboard and mouse, and then space on the desk to move them to when I wanted to sit down. So I could have sort of 2 different working environments, one standing up with everything high up, and the other one sitting down with everything at the normal height. And I got it set up so that the switch took me about 7 seconds, so I could change sort of every 15-20 minutes without causing any problems. And yeah, in terms of the chair, so I mean it's a regular office chair. Now I'm using an Airweave cushion on it as well. It's a Japanese thing. It's rather expensive, but it seems to make a really big difference. So that's a good thing. And yeah, and a more expensive chair doesn't necessarily mean less pain. There seems to be no sort of science to it. It's more of a black art as to whether a chair is good for me or not. Anyway, so yeah, that was earlier 2019, and since then I haven't had a day off work. Not for my back, I mean. And I've been able to travel quite a lot. I've been to Sweden for work and for pleasure. Been to the UK and Poland a few times, to Berlin, Paris, Tenerife, Naples, Madrid and Lisbon. So I've been getting around quite a bit, and my back's survived in the most part. In terms of treatment, so I go to the osteopath. It's a guy who's actually a doctor as well, and he does adjustments. So some osteopaths, especially in Spain, are more kind of touchy-feely. They hold your head for 10 minutes and prod at your liver a bit and then charge you sort of €70. But this guy's a bit more mechanical, let's say. He does adjustments, when it goes crack, crack. And I go there every 2 or 3 months. And he always says how surprised he is how much movement there is in my lumbar region, considering the operation that I've had done. And apart from that, the occasional painkiller, but very, very little these days. Tiger balm can help with inflammation. And I did actually invest in a TENS machine to pass current through tense muscles. That can help for the higher up. Sometimes get sort of tension in my shoulders. And then what else? So in terms of environment, yeah, I have the viscoelastic mattress that I bought probably 10 years ago now, and it's very comfy. It helps a lot, and the viscoelastic pillows as well. And right now I'm sitting on a reclining sofa as well. Then yeah, the important part is exercise, I guess. I mean, it sounds obvious, but walking, just walking as much as you can. My office is about half an hour walk away, so I try and walk in every day and walk back again, so that's an hour exercise straight away. I was getting the bus for a while when it was cold, or I just got lazy, and you could really notice the deterioration in my back. I also got one of these, a Fitbit thing, which depending on your personality, I guess, can help you to try and keep your step count up. But yeah, anyway. Physio. So yeah, when I was off in spring of 2019, they signed me up for these physio classes. It was a morning, every weekday morning for 3 or 4 weeks. And at first I was very not suspicious, but skeptical, because well, it was mostly sort of 60, 70-year-old people in there, and some of the exercises we started with were so light, I just didn't think it was going to be any use at all. But I stuck with it, and I took note of every single exercise we did, so it was like a different combination every day that we were doing, and they were showing us new ones every day, and I kept note of all of them, so I ended up with a list of about 60, and then I used that to make 7 different routines. Of about 20-25 exercises in each routine. So I do one of those each day, so it stops me getting bored. So every morning before I go to work, I do one of these routines, and that seems to keep me well, healthy, basically, able to work, able to do things. Sometimes I really need to force myself to do it, but I need to, because even if I'm in pain before I do it, then afterwards I actually feel much better, so it's really good. And since coronavirus started, and I've been pain-free for quite a while, I've actually adapted some of the exercises to use very light dumbbells with them as well, 1 kilo or 1.5 kilo weights. So it doesn't sound much, but it's enough just to provide a little bit more resistance and work a bit harder. So I've actually recorded those 7 routines. The videos are terrible quality, sorry, and there's no sound, it's just I put subtitles to explain what's going on. I've already uploaded them to YouTube, but they're private at the moment, so once I publish this, then I will make those public as well. And well, I hope they're of some use to someone. Like I say, they're terrible quality, so apologies for that. Swimming helps. I haven't been for a couple of weeks, and with the COVID situation, the swimming pool's been shut for some time as well. But when I was going, I tried to go 3 times a week, and that seems to really help. Keeps the weight down, keeps me fit, and then of course there's no impact, so that's good. But I don't do much. I do about 800 meters, something like that, maybe a little bit more sometimes. And always just front crawl and back crawl, no breaststroke, and I can't do butterfly anyway. What else would I say in terms of activities? Most DIY stuff seems to be actually pretty good for me, like doing little woodwork projects, although leaning over sawing can be dangerous. Painting, things like that, all good. But I need to try and avoid cleaning the kitchen when you're sort of reaching for the back of cupboards, then that can cause problems. And absolutely no cycling. I was okay on a Dutch style bike where you sat up very vertical, but most bicycles are no good. And yeah, on the same lines, then motorcycles, nothing sporty, but I have hired a little moped a couple of times, and that was fine. So I might invest in one of those soon. And that's about it. So yeah, in general, feeling pretty good. It's, you know, I get days where I get pain, and I think it's always going to be like that. But life is so much more pleasant than it was before the operation. Every day is a bit of a sort of adventure. You know, sometimes it's a bad day, sometimes it's a good day. I never really completely forget about it, but I'm not sort of constantly aware of it. I'm not constantly worried, and I'm not in pain every day. So yeah, I repeat, definitely worth having the operation. In my case, of course, everyone's different, and depends on the surgeon, depends on what your situation is. And that's about all I can think of to say. So I'll finish by saying Happy Christmas, and if you're watching this, then I guess you're either pre-op or post-op and worried or wondering how long you're going to be in pain for. And all I can say is send you best wishes, and I hope you feel better soon. Okay. Bye.